thank you for allowing us this opportunity to share with the wider public our vision, our hopes and dreams for the adaptive reuse of the Tunapuna Old Post Office. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, my Lord, expand for me my breast, and ease for me my task, and untie the knot from my tongue, that they may understand my speech. Amen. This is a wonderful opportunity for us here at Roots Foundation to deliver this month's lecture for Tut Bagay on Tunapuna is Legacy, Heritage in Action. We are looking at the Tunapuna Old Post Office for the adaptive reuse as Roots Cafe TT. Tunapuna is one of Trinidad's oldest settlements. Founded in the late 18th century, the name Tunapuna predates the arrival of Christopher Columbus. The Tunapuna River, one of the 12 tributaries that flow into the Caroni River, would have fostered sustainable living for the indigenous Amerindians. The indigenous people call the region on the river by joining the word Tona, meaning water or river, with the suffix una or pona, meaning upon. After the cedula of 1783, which brought French planters and enslaved Africans to Tunapuna, the first peoples were forced to move to the Arima Mission. This would have probably been our first recorded gentrification. Tunapuna, a heritage of many peoples. After emancipation, Tunapuna grew through the strength, resilience, and contributions of many communities. Post-emancipation saw former enslaved Africans occupying lands in the region, laying the foundation for new communities. Indian indentured laborers were introduced to Tunapuna as early as 1845. Their descendants have remained in large numbers up to today in areas such as El Dorado and Paje. Chinese immigrants were brought between 1853 and 1866 to work on the cocoa plantations and sugar estates, adding to Tunapuna's rich diversity. And our first tribute is being paid to Tunapuna luminaries, the descendants of that rich diversity. C.L.R. James, cultural historian, Marxist humanist, cricket essayist, journalist, teacher, and political activist of the Pan-African movement. Lloyd Best, intellectual, columnist, professor, economist, and politician. Winifred Atwell, and I'm sure most of us, like myself, only knew about Winifred Atwell thanks to Queen's Hall, when they renamed the auditorium the Winifred Atwell Auditorium. She is well known as a concert pianist, but before that, her first profession was that of a pharmacist. She became a renowned ragtime entertainer and the first black recording artist to top the UK singles chart, achieving 3 consecutive million-selling hits. And when I was doing research on Winifred Atwell and I saw that she was a ragtime entertainer, my mind quickly reflected on Alexander's Ragtime Band of 1939, which actually got its name from the US musical Alexander's Ragtime Band. Another piece of history there. Lashmi Prasad, renowned prize-winning author, pioneer of Indo-Caribbean women's fiction, and educator. And Audley Sue Wing, renowned modernist painter, printmaker, and visual arts educator. These are some of our luminaries, the pioneers we pay tribute to in this lecture. Tunapuna, its growth, its railway, and its postal progress from sugar estates to a connected community. Tunapuna became the center of many sugar estates to facilitate the rapid growth of the railway, which reached Chatham Lodge just south of the town on Thursday the 31st of August 1876. And on Wednesday the 16th of October, mail from Tunapuna was forwarded to Chatham Lodge station and a post office was established there. The population grew just shy of 4,000 in 1881 to 3,948. By Thursday the 31st of January 1889, take note of this please, the post office was moved from the railway station at Chatham Lodge to an adjacent new building situated on Railway Road in the county of St. George, where we are currently occupying. By 1931, the population further increased, just shy of 7,000 to 6,838. Now, a piece of history I recently learned was that in 1921, the West Indies Agricultural College was established. That's just 10 years prior to this spike in increase. By 1924, it was rebranded or renamed the Imperial College of Tropical Agriculture, ICTA. And in 1960, the ICTA and the University College of the West Indies merged and formed the Faculty of Agriculture. And in 1962, the University of the West Indies was born, which is actually, it came out of the ICTA. So this we've seen here is a beautiful expansion from sugar and cocoa estates to the expansion of the railway, postal service, and education. We want to also pay tribute to our post office postmasters and postmistresses who have paved the way. 1878 to 1880, Mr. J. Sozano, postmaster. 1899 to 1902, Mrs. L. Ovid, postmistress. 1903 to 1908, Mr. L. Hodgington, postmaster. 1909, Mrs. A. Lang, postmistress. 1910 to 1914, Mrs. B. Hamilton, postmistress. 1914 to 1925, Mrs. L. Hamilton, postmistress. 1926 to 1946, Mistress B. Gooden, postmistress. 1947 to 1956, Mrs. A. B. Gonzalez, postmistress. And in 1957 to 58, 59 thereabouts, Mr. A. Mirren, postmaster. These are the luminaries. These are the persons who paved the way. And I know we have a lot of persons from the Tunapuna community in on this call tonight. And we want to tell you thank you. If you are recognizing any of these surnames, thank you for the service your foreparents gave to the Tunapuna community. we want to also pay tribute to 4 key institutions. The Last Train, the song that carried our people, our produce, and our hopes into the future. The first PTSD bus, the beginning of a new journey, connecting communities and opening doors to opportunity. The market, a place of trade, tradition, and togetherness, where generations met, shared, and built community. And of course, the Tunapuna Old Post Office, why we are here today. A hub of connection, communication, and community, where news, letters, and love arrive daily. We want to honor these institutions as the foundation for Tunapuna. Now, this project, Roots Cafe TT, wasn't born yesterday. In October, to be precise, in 1990, this idea came to my mind. Let's create an alternative to custodial sentencing. We have young persons who have been incarcerated for beyond control, a marijuana joint, fighting. And I saw that we needed as a society to do better. So I just had an idea. And by March of 2012, I was doing my undergrad at the University of the West Indies, proud to say that, my alma mater. And we had a project, design a system, a prison system, to address the crime situation. And that idea became a project assignment called Behavior Modification Academy. By 2016 in June, I began traveling under the International Visitors Leadership Program, IVLP, to the US. And I actually saw my idea, my project, in action. And I decided, hey, let's call this thing Gang Prevention and Workforce Development. I traveled again in 2017 for another IVLP. And I again saw so many programs where they are helping to rehabilitate youth or keep them away from a life of crime. And I said, that's it. Pathways to success. And in 2021, July, we at Roots Foundation began exploring with our model, our stream model of storytelling, training, reading, entrepreneurship, arts, and mentorship. And by 2026, Roots Cafe TT was not actually born. We got the building in 2024. But after 2 years, we feel that we are at a place now to actually launch Roots Cafe TT, Creative Academy for Edutainment, a positive alternative to extended suspension and custodial sentencing. But we have a problem in our society. We have a problem of gang violence. We have a problem where gangs are targeting our young people between the ages of 12 and 16. This came out of a report, a UK report, which painted a grim picture of TNT, where they said we have 186 criminal gangs with 1,750 members. We have been called a gang nation. TNT is not a gang nation. And we cannot have our schools as a pipeline to this gang nation. And over the years at Roots Foundation, we have realized that we don't have a school to prison pipeline, but instead we have a school to gang pipelines due to extended suspension. So once our youth are out there on the streets, they become susceptible to either joining a gang, getting involved in gun violence, or our girls, our young women could end up, as we have seen in many instances, missing and then reported dead. All connected to violence, all connected to gangs. In 2022, the Ministry of Education, between April and July, they conducted a survey across 7 school districts. It was called the National School Discipline Matrix. And they found that most suspensions occurred in Form 1 to Form 3. And that age group is about 11 to 15. We saw in Form 1, there were 554 suspensions, 206 females, 347 males. We saw in Form 2, there were 529 suspensions, 185 females, and 344 males. In Form 3, there were 487 suspensions, 143 females, and 344 males. The numbers don't lie. 1,570 suspensions occurred between the period April to July 2022, just as we came out from COVID. We need to break this cycle. We need to build a future for our youth. They deserve better. In 2025, we saw the introduction of the School-Oriented Policing Initiative. September to December, term 1, 15 weeks, there were 19 arrests of students. From infractions, assault with a weapon, to obscene language, resisting arrest, disorderly behavior. We have the different infractions there, the charges, and the numbers. 19 students have been arrested. Behind every incident is a student. Behind every student is potential. In 2010, Maxine Hunt and Leanne Waldrop Bonnier conducted a survey between 2004 and 2009. It revealed that 2,453 individuals fell victim to murder. Males were overrepresented, both as homicide victims and perpetrators. Of that figure, 61% of identified offenders were between the ages of 15 and 29. And of that figure, 41% fell between the ages of 20 and 24. We have a problem with crime and violence affecting our youth, and in particular our young men. And this study was called the juvenilization of crime. For those who don't know, the young man to the right of your screen was called K-Man 6. He has now rebranded himself as K-Man, and he deleted a video that he claims sparked the war. Right? That video is called a music video called Black Rain. But we know that this war predates that video. But we can agree that Black Rain put a spike on murders, gang-related murders. And to your left, you are seeing the names of 12 young men between 2020 to 2024. 20 young men who are Trinidad artists who have been killed. Look at the ages. Take out the outliers. 31 and 44. Look at the ages. Between 18 and 30. Our young men. 12 of them This is the only musical genre in Trinidad and Tobago where the artists are killed. And we know the history of Calypso. We know the sobriquet of our Calypsonians. Bomber, Mighty Bomber, Mighty Destroyer, Lord. So they use names to show prowess, to show authority, to show might, strength, but they never killed each other. Gang-related violence accounts for approximately 40 to 60% of all murders annually. We have a problem. We need stronger schools and safer communities. We need support for our youth to believe in their future. And we need to create opportunities to empower our youth. Roots Foundation have a solution. One of the solutions. It's our school to entrepreneurship pipeline. We want to break that school to gang pipeline using our stream model of storytelling, training, reading, entrepreneurship, arts, and mentorship. It's a multimedia youth development program where we are providing training in photography, television and video production, business administration, secretarial skills, youth development work, and performing arts, spoken word poetry. These courses will be certified CVQ and delivered at the TVET and PLAR level. Roots Foundation has been approved by the National Training Agency to deliver technical and vocational education and training programs, TVET, at the Caribbean Vocational Qualification level, CVQ. We have also been approved as a workforce assessment center for the assessment and certification of persons through the PLAR process, prior learning, assessment and recognition, which certifies persons who have the skills, knowledge and experience of a particular course, and in this case the program that we will be offering. Roots Foundation also signed a memorandum of cooperation with the National Library and Information Systems Authority, NALIS, where we will have Roots Cafe TT satellite centers in Central, Hoover Public Library, South, Mayaro Public Library, North, Port of Spain Public Library, West, Diego Martin Public Library, and East, La Joquita Public Library. Who is Roots Cafe TT for? We, my dear brothers and sisters, the public, we have a responsibility to our 11 to 17-year-old students who are high risk of school-related violence, high absenteeism and truancy rate, high levels of referrals in discipline, and high levels of critical incidents, including bullying. These young people are categorized as chins, children in need of supervision. We also have a promise to keep to our young adults 18 to 30 years who lack personal, professional, and entrepreneurial skills. We at Roots Foundation call that PPE. These young adults are categorized as opportunity youth who are neat, not in employment, education, or training. Our beneficiaries, our primary beneficiaries, are these young people, preteens, adolescents, young adults between the ages of 18 and 30, but not only restricted to chins and neat. Any youth, young adult, nationals of Trinidad and Tobago or from the diaspora, or those who qualify under the grandparents' citizenship law and from CARICOM interested in retooling, upskilling, reskilling their talents are eligible for Roots Cafe TT. Let's tell you more about how we're going to deliver or how we're going to create this amazing project called Roots Cafe TT.
This historical building that was constructed in 1889 is known as the Tunapuna Old Post Office. It was established near the railway station just adjacent to the bustling market, and we need your help in preserving and restoring it. In 2011, the Old Post Office transitioned away from mail. It was transferred to the Ministry of Health, becoming home to the St. George East Insect Vector Control Division, symbolizing a fresh chapter of community service in public health. And just recently in 2024, a new lease of life began when the Ministry of Public Administration entrusted this building to the Oral Tradition Roots Foundation for the adaptive reuse as Roots Cafe TT, Creative Academy for Edutainment. The recognition followed swiftly. In October 2024, the Tunapuna Old Post Office was officially added to the National Trust Heritage Asset Inventory, protected as a site of historical and cultural importance. And in April 2025, the Roots Foundation was officially endorsed under the Heritage Tax Allowance Program, a fiscal incentive offering registered businesses a 150% tax allowance for the preservation, restoration, and adaptive reuse of heritage assets. Roots Foundation is looking for international investors for a global partnership initiative, connecting culture, diplomacy, and innovation to transform this heritage site into a vibrant heritage and innovation hub. This partnership merges local roots with global reach, creativity with enterprise, and youth empowerment with international collaboration. Join us in giving new life to the Tunapuna Old Post Office. Let's preserve the past so we can inspire the future together.
Together, we can transform Trinidad and Tobago, our buildings, our communities, our future. I will leave up this slide a few seconds so you can get the information on the National Trust, their website and email, or you can also email us directly at rootsfoundation868@gmail.com or call or WhatsApp us at the number on the screen. The project has been approved HTAP. This is our HTAP number, TPR 2025-001. We also have an application in at Self-Help, and our application number is TUTPU/16323. We want your help to transform the Tunapuna Old Post Office into Roots Cafe TT. And here we have some before and generated after. This is how we want to transform this building. This is the look we want to bring to the Tunapuna St. Augustine communities. This, my dear friends, is the Tunapuna Old Post Office repurposed as Roots Cafe TT. Before and after day and night view. This is if you're on the bus route looking north. So let's say in Paje, you're looking north towards Tunapuna proper. That's the view there. On the bus route, you can see this view. This is from inside the bus terminus itself, looking west. Alright? And you can also see this view if you're coming down the bus route. Let's walk along that wall, that red wall, on the path there. It takes us into Railway Road. This is another view, before, after, day and night view. We want to transform Railway Road. We want to transform Tunapuna. This is another view from on Railway Road itself, looking directly at the Tunapuna Old Post Office the adaptive reuse as Roots Cafe TT. This is a view looking at, you could say probably looking east, right? I have an angle there. That's another view of the Tunapuna Old Post Office. We see here a layout of the inside of the building, and to your right as you enter you would meet the reception room, and opposite that we want to create a digital resource where not just students or participants of our program, but students from the university, colleges, the other schools right in the area can come and do research, right? So we will be expanding our partnership with NALIS and with the National Trust to get resource information so students could come and access in our digital resource room. In the middle is a classroom area, and at the back is a teacher's lounge, right? You see there's a steps where the students are going up. Let's see where they're going to. This is the first floor, top level. And we see to the top on your right hand screen the kitchen. At the bottom is the office. To the left is a meeting room. And above that is our recording studio. Everything digital will come out of this recording studios. Podcasts, live streams, just like what you're doing here from that digital recording studio.
Your future starts here at the historic Tunapuna Old Post Office, where it has evolved from delivering letters to delivering futures.
Roots Cafe TT is more than an academy. It's where we connect yesterday's legacy with tomorrow's leaders.
At Roots Creative Academy for Edutainment, students discover their true potential through our stream model of storytelling, training, reading, entrepreneurship, arts, and mentorship.
Our modern learning spaces, recording studio, digital resource center, and industry-recognized CVQ programs empower learners with real-world skills for real success. Guided by the 4 E's, we are delivering education, employment, entrepreneurship, and enhancement by building confident leaders, creative thinkers, and future innovators.
Visit our website at rootsfoundationtt.org or contact us at rootsfoundation868@gmail.com.
This is the future of the Tunapuna Old Post Office as the adaptive reuse as Roots Cafe TT Creative Academy for edutainment. I will leave this on the screen a little while so you can resonate with what we are trying to do, what we will be doing. We'll be offering photography, television and video production, youth development work, business administration, secretariat skills, and performing arts, spoken word poetry at the TVET level and through the PLAR process. What is PLAR?
Welcome to the Prior Learning Assessment and Recognition, PLAR, orientation, brought to you by the National Training Agency of Trinidad and Tobago. We are excited to have you here as you take the next step toward achieving formal certification for the skills and knowledge that you would have gained over the years. Have you ever worked in a field for years, but never had the formal qualification to prove your expertise? That's where PLAR comes in. It is a structured process that recognizes the skills, knowledge, and attitude you have gained, whether through work, apprenticeships, or life experiences, and assesses them against national or regional occupational standards. The result? You can earn a certification, such as the Trinidad and Tobago National Vocational Qualification, TTNVQ, or the Caribbean Vocational Qualification, CVQ, without starting from scratch. So how does it work? PLAR is a step-by-step process that includes application and registration. You sign up and identify the qualification you want. Portfolio development. Gather evidence of your skills. This could be work samples, testimonials, or even pictures and videos of you performing tasks. Assessment. A certified assessor evaluates your competencies using a mix of methods, such as practical demonstrations, interviews, and portfolio reviews. Certification. If you meet the standards, you earn a recognized qualification that opens doors for employment, promotions, or further education. By participating in PLAR, you can gain formal recognition for what you already know. Save time and money compared to traditional training. Improve your career prospects and earning potential. Boost your confidence with a qualification that proves your expertise. PLAR is your bridge from experience to certification. You have already done the hard work. Now it is time to get the recognition you deserve. We are here to support you throughout the process, so let's get started.
We are so excited to have you here, and we are ready to get you started on helping us develop Roots Cafe TT. Roots Cafe TT is ladders of opportunity for our young people, moving from a sense of belonging to healing and confidence, to creating opportunities in education, skills training, giving them that hands-on experience, leadership skills, economic mobility, and helping them leave a legacy like what was left from the first peoples straight down to now. These young people have the opportunity to climb together, build futures, and transform their community. Also, to the right, just wanted to give you all a little idea of what we have been doing since we got the building on the 1st of May 2024, where we got a 5-year lease. By 23rd of October that same year, the building was successfully nominated to the National Trust Heritage Asset Inventory. And by October that same year, we had a successful structural evaluation. The building is fit for purpose. By November 2024, we got a scope of work based on that successful structural evaluation. And by December of that same year, 2024, we got our application approved at the National Self-Help Commission. In April of 2025, a successful land survey was completed. April of 2025, we got approved for the HTAP project, Heritage Tax Allowance Program. And May 2025, the 5-year lease was extended to 10 years. November 2025, we got our center and program approvals from the National Training Agency. In May 2026, we got our PLAR portal established. In May of 2026, we also received certification in CVQ Level 4 assessment. May 2026, busy month in May, and our anniversary date, Spoken Word Poetry was approved. And in June 2026, we got our TVET Control Center approval. This is what we have been doing since May the 1st, 2024. Preserving a legacy. Tunapuna Post Office. Buildings like this are the physical anchors of our heritage. Once they are gone, that tangible link to the past is lost forever. Turning a historic space like this into a localized museum or cultural hub would not only honor its legacy, but also breathe new life into this area, giving future generations a place to truly connect with their roots. These are not our words. These are the words of the Angelo Bissasa's Virtual Museum of Trinidad and Tobago. How can you get on board? We are asking for your support for the adaptive reuse of the Tunapuna Old Post Office as Roots Cafe TT Creative Academy for Edutainment. This can be done through the HTAP project, the Heritage Tax Allowance Program, which encourages the preservation of Trinidad and Tobago's rich heritage by offering a tax allowance up to 150% of expenditure up to a maximum of $1 million TT. You could start by scanning the QR code or visiting the National Trust of Trinidad and Tobago's website for the HTAP program, which is, you could take it down, htap.nationaltrust.tt/project-catalog/. Our project number is TPR 2025-001. We are the first on the list. To the right is our banking information, SWIFT code, routing number, transit number, and below you have our local and US banking account information. We want to assure you, the public, that any funds directed through our bank, our accounts, will be deemed restricted funds for this project. So you need not worry that it will be used otherwise. No, it will be restricted funds. Through the HTAP project, you are dealing directly with the National Trust. Some key takeaways. Post Office, established in 1889. It is a heritage inventory asset. It is HTAP approved, TPR 2025-001. There is a self-help application, TUTPU 60/16323. We are offering photography, video and television production, youth development work, business administration, secretarial skills, and performing arts, spoken word poetry at the TVET level and through the PLAR process. We are speaking directly to you parents who want the best future for your children. We are speaking to teachers, educators, and every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago who genuinely care for the well-being, emotional, and professional development and future of our youth. Refurbishing the Tunapuna Old Post Office is not a construction project. It is a crime prevention, education, and nation building project. That's my time. I'm Mtimas Sorowazi, as said earlier, the Artivist Educator, Hummingbird Medal Silver recipient in the sphere of culture and the arts. And I want to thank the National Trust for this opportunity and thank you for spending the last 30-45 minutes thereabout with us. Thank you very much.
يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي
All the praise is for Allah, who is the author of all existence and the most generous to his creation, while he is also the all-compelling. He is the only one worthy of our worship, having no partners, no associates, no sons, no daughters, no one whom he must consult, and no one or anything which has any comparison with him. All the praise is for Allah, who is the King of all who claim sovereignty, the only one who has the right to legislate for his creatures. He is the giver of life. He is the causer of death, while death has no effect upon him, because he is the ever-living, the self-subsisting, the eternal and the only absolute. All the praise is for Allah, who has power over all things, and there is in reality no power and no strength, no influence to cause benefit or detriment except through him. It is he who created this complex world, the seen and the unseen, the evident and the speculative, the earth and all that is on it, and everything that is in it. It is he who sent his messengers and prophets, alayhimus salam, with the common message of strict monotheism, which simply means that there's absolutely no one worthy of worship, no one worthy of our obedience except the Almighty, the One, the Absolute, and who has no partners.
The earlier messages, which changed the world in the area in which the prophets were sent, those messages we know have changed, and even the prophets who brought them, their names are now lost. We just know in general because Allah told us in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنْ يَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. I've sent to every nation a messenger, calling people to worship Allah alone and to avoid the worship of false gods. This essential message has been preserved in Islam in a way that it was never preserved before. Not because the message was different, because it was the same message, but because of the fact that there would be no other prophets who would come after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So therefore that message now had to be protected. It had to be preserved in a way none of the earlier messages were preserved.
I will relate this. What you say you have come to know 40 years back, and what you call the Big Bang is already mentioned in the book which I read, the glorious Quran. It's mentioned 1400 years ago in Surah Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 30, which says, Avalam yaral lazina kafaru. Do not the unbelievers see anna samawati wal arda kanat ratkan fataqnahuma, that the heaven and the earth were joined together and we clove them asunder. What you're talking about, the Big Bang,
I try and imagine compressing a spring. I push it closer and closer and closer together so it's smaller and smaller and smaller, and I've stored a tremendous amount of energy in that spring, and when I let it go, it bursts out, it bursts out, it bursts out.
the creation of the universe, which you came to know 40 years back, is already mentioned in this book, the glorious Quran, 1400 years ago. Who could have mentioned that in the Quran? So the atheists will say, maybe someone wrote, maybe it's a fluke, maybe it's a guesswork.
A human being, regardless of who they are, or where they are, or what they do, will have this curiosity. They'll want to know, why am I here? How did I get here? And do I have a purpose? And if so, what is it? The only one who would really be able to answer that question would be the Creator himself. If there is a creator, it would be up to him to tell us why we were created and what he expects from us and what this life is really about. Allah has shown the people from the time of Adam until right now, has shown the people what he wants from them. And it's a very simple thing, and that is that worship be for him alone without any partners. In fact, we know this life to be a test from Almighty God. That's why we're born, and that's why we die, because there has to be a beginning and an end for us to be tested on. The next life, after this life, no one will ever die again. A bad person or a good person. Both are brought back, and they continue to live in the next life, either in good shape or not so good shape, depending on how they did on the test. The worship of the God of Abraham, that was what was taught by these prophets.
The Lord of the Arsh and Kursi. We're talking about the Lord of the worlds. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We're talking about the Lord of the entire universe and beyond. The entire universe and beyond. You know, we live in this dunya, and we are fascinated with this dunya which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indeed has created in a beautiful manner. We're fascinated. There are over billions of people which live on this dunya at this moment in time. Over 6 billion people that live on the dunya at this moment in time. This dunya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so big that there is space in this dunya for billions and billions and billions or more people. But what is this dunya in comparison to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created out there? This dunya is insignificant. This dunya is meaningless to Allah. It means nothing. It is worthless. So worthless, compare it with the sun. The sun is one star. You know more science than me. You'll be able to tell me better. Take this planet Earth and you place it inside the sun, and you will be able to place 1.3 million Earths in the sun. 1.3 million Earths in the sun. Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. The sun is one star. One star. There are stars out there which are millions of times bigger than the sun. You tell me this, that you need millions and millions of stars to make one galaxy. And then you tell me this, that there are zillions of galaxies out there. Let me tell you on top of this, my friend, after this, whatever you see above, when you raise your head and you look above, whatever you see above, the zillions and zillions and zillions of galaxies, let me tell you, this is everything there is within the first heaven. Everything there is within the first heaven, and Allah is the creator of 7 heavens. 7 heavens. And the distance between the first heaven and the second heaven is 500 years. You know, the distance that can be covered in 500 years, at what speed? Only Allah knows. Only Allah knows. But it will take 500 years to get from the first heaven to the second heaven. 500 years from the second to the third, third to the fourth, fourth to the fifth, fifth to the sixth, sixth to the seventh. Every time it will take 500 years. After the 7 heavens, وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. You all read the Ayatul Kursi. You all know the Ayatul Kursi. After this, you have the Kursi of Allah. You have the chair of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know these 7 heavens that we've just talked about, in comparison to the Kursi of Allah, they're non-existent. They're meaningless. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given an example in a hadith, just to give us a little bit of understanding with regards to the 7 heavens in comparison to the Kursi of Allah. Take a ring from your finger, take it off, the small ring that you have, and place it, let's say, in a desert, the Sahara Desert. It's the biggest desert in the world. You know that ring